Hello everyone and welcome to a very quick book review. This one is for number 4 in a series. However, there will be no spoilers for the first 3 books in the series, okay? So no need to worry there. This is a middle grade and it is Dork Diaries Volume 4. This one is Tales of a Not So Graceful Ice Princess. At times this does take place in a school. Did I say this was a middle grade? It's definitely a middle grade. Anyway, this does take place at a school. At times it takes place outside doing activities. This book does take place during the whole month of December. What has happened is, okay, so the main character we are following is Nikki. She has 2 friends, Zoe and Chloe. Yes, Zoe and Chloe, and she has another friend who you can see this kind of romance blossoming between the two, and his name is Brandon. Brandon volunteers at an animal shelter. I don't remember the name of the animal shelter, but he volunteers at the animal shelter. And they kind of have a crush on each other. You can kind of tell that. This is in junior high, and it's told in diary format. So this starts out with Sunday, December 1st. And the writing is definitely like, OMG, a lot comes up. Nikki has a little sister named Brianna. And at times you can see the love that she has for her little sister. And at times you can see how much her little sister annoys the crap out of her. So you're just following as she experiences life. The frustration she has with this bully named Mackenzie or this mean girl in school. Well, no, yeah, I would say bully, so trigger warning for bully. And just the animosity there. You see how much her friends just really support her and everything. The school that Nikki goes to she is on a scholarship for due to the work that her dad does. Okay, so I'll leave that at that. You find that out in book 1. So in this one, it just takes place for the month of December. There is this ice skating event tournament going on. Nikki has joined up with her 2 friends, Chloe and Zoe. They're supposed to, in order to do this, to get an A for their gym class, they're supposed to find a sponsor and then they ice skate. Well, they decide to have the sponsor be this place that Brandon works for, because what has happened is in this book, one of the owners ends up injured and can't work, and so they're basically trying to rehome these animals because they're going to shut the business down. So, and it's an animal shelter where people can go and adopt dogs and cats. But if no one can run it due to what's going on, then they've got to close their doors. So they want to sponsor if they're sponsored, the company gets $3,000, and that would be enough to keep them open until they can be fully back to work, So Nikki, Chloe, and Zoe want to sponsor this place. And then you're just following as they try that. You're seeing a lot of the concerns that Nikki has with how well she can skate or lack thereof, the self-deprecation, things like that. So your typical junior high worries and concerns, but I love the fact that it's told in diary format. You get an entry pretty much every day. I actually think every single day you get a diary entry, some shorter, some longer than others. Obviously, the last day of the month is when the ice skating thing takes place, and so that entry is the longest. Throughout this book, you also have images. So Nikki likes to draw, and so she draws a lot of stuff. And evidently she's fairly good at it. So this is just a fun, very quick, lighthearted read. I highly recommend it. I think it's great. I wish this type of book had existed when I was thinking about what my life would be like in junior high. I don't know. I just feel like I would have really obviously related a lot more. Now, now that I'm 40, I can't really relate, but I do reminisce on some of the feelings and the concerns that I had that Nikki faces. And so but I think it would have just been a little bit more impactful had I read this at the target audience. So I do recommend that. One thing I did highlight in this book is this, and it says, a true friend is someone who thinks you're a good egg. A good egg. Okay, let me start that over because I said that weird. Or I felt like I said it weird. A true friend is someone who thinks you're a good egg, even when you're slightly cracked. So I really like that. Anyway, so that's pretty much all I can say about this one. No spoilers, and there were no words or terms that were bothersome. Obviously, the biggest trigger is the thought of this animal shelter clothing and the animals having to get rehomed to a completely different animal shelter in a completely different area. But that's really it. Oh, and the bully thing with Mackenzie. But that's your typical junior high. There is going to be bullies, and so I like the fact that they didn't shy away from the fact that there is a bully, and really focus that. The author, Rachel Renee Russell, focused on the dynamics between Nikki and her bully and the thoughts that she had when she stood up for herself, when she didn't, and why, and all of that stuff. So I really liked seeing the dynamic there and between her friends and her crush and all of that. Anyway, it was enjoyable. Just a really fun read. So I gave this one 4 stars, and I do look forward to continuing this series. I'm not sure how many are in this series, but there's quite a few. I think there's over 10 in this series, I'm pretty sure, but I'm not sure on the exact amount. But let me know, have you read any of the Dork Diaries series? I do recommend reading them in order because they started when the first one started at the start of the school year, and then the next. And then there's a couple of entries in this book that kind of reflected back on some of the previous events. So definitely read it in order, although it's not like a big, spoiler thing if you don't read them in order, but I do recommend reading them in order because things will make just that much more sense. So yes, let me know, have you read this? I know Rachel Renee Russell has other works out, so let me know if you've read anything else by Rachel Renee Russell. Talk to me in the comment section below, and until next time, stay true to yourself and enjoy a good book, and I'll talk to you later.